My name is Sarah, and some of you know me as the Paris Quiz Mistress. I host trivia nights in Paris, and I'm a lifelong trivia addict. My obsession has led me to meet lots of cool and nerdy people from around the world, and this podcast is a chance to find out how my trivia pals got into this weird and wonderful world of quizzing, and why we continue to torture ourselves with it. So play along when we put our knowledge to the test and try to stump each other with our best zingers. Stay tuned for lots of trivia and nerdery. Let's geek out together.
All right. Well, do you want to do your Paris Quiz Mistress thing? What would you normally do? This is a swap cast. This is where, this recording is going to be published on both of our podcasts.
Yeah.
And so we were talking earlier about, wait a minute, who's the host of this?
I know, we're going to, step on each other's little host toes.
Potentially. What would you normally ask at this point in an episode of your podcast with your guest?
Well, I'm very curious to know what your relationship is with trivia and quizzing, because I don't, from my point of view, I don't think you have a very strong relationship with trivia and quizzing, just because you don't come to my trivia nights.
I know, I'm very bad. Shame on me.
But you know what? This is making up for it. For 10 years, you haven't been coming to my trivia nights. But look, I
know.
I get. This is your punishment. I have to quiz you one-on-one.
Well, the thing is, I actually really love pub quizzes. Obviously not enough, because I haven't been to yours, and I totally should. But you have to just take my word for it that I do love a pub quiz, and I'm very sorry that I haven't been to yours. Every time I see you, we talk about it, and you remind me, about it, and I'm like, oh, I must come, and then I just don't.
Well, to be fair, anytime I happen upon a Brit in Paris, I'm like, well, you know what a trivia night is.
Yes.
You know what a pub quiz is. The concept is clear to you, and that is half the battle in this city. So,
well, because here people don't know the concept of a pub quiz.
It's not so much in the culture. When I explain it to people, because a lot of times, I host in some bars that attract a lot of tourists or a lot of people passing through who aren't necessarily there for the quiz. So I'll be like, hi, we're doing a quiz tonight. And it's panicked looks.
Like quiz? What, like a test? An English test?
Kind of. People do get a little bit nervous. And I said, don't worry, it's just like school, except there's beer. And, my quizzes don't cost anything to participate. And you could win drinks. And it's, very low pressure. And we also have a prize for the best team name.
That's good. Because that's all part of the fun, is coming up with inventive team names.
Exactly.
Have you had any good names that you can think of at this moment?
Oh, yes. I had the best team name this past Monday was... what was it? It was Communist Pirate Ship USSR.
Oh, wow. Communist Pirate Ship USSR.
Exactly.
Because, of course, pirates go R.
Yes, that was the joke.
Well, exactly. I have to explain these things
I know.
to my listeners who are
I do too.
Sorry, what? Communist Pirate Ship USSR. Okay. Someone told me on their podcast recently a pirate-based joke. Would you like to hear it?
Yes, please.
Yeah, good. I'm glad you said yes, because that would have been... If you'd got no thanks, let's move on. Oh, sorry. What's a pirate's favourite letter? Go on.
R.
Nah, 'tis the C, to be sure. Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's thanks to Gabriel from the Clark and Miller podcast, listeners.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Anyway.
Lots of plugs.
Another little plug. Shout out to Gabriel. Right, so actually, how do we know each other? Because having heard some of your episodes, you do that, don't you?
I do that.
You do mention that. That's one of the questions. How How do you know the person you're talking to?
Well, we certainly don't know each other from pub quizzes.
No, and I'm sorry again about that. I feel bad, but anyway, yes, no, we don't.
Okay, there's no hard feelings.
I'm not a quiz. What did you say? A quizzing associate?
Yes. Quizzers.
I'm not one of your quizzing friends, but we know each other through mutual friends. Mainly,
well,
right?
I would say I know you because I'm a big fan of your work.
Oh, thank you. Which work is that?
Well, when I first moved to Paris, I started coming to stand-up shows through our friend of the pod, Sarah Donnelly, friend of both of our pods.
Yes, indeed.
And so I knew her, and basically we moved to Paris at the same time. Another friend of the pod, Molly Martinez, introduced us. And I just started coming to stand-up nights, and you were one of the comedians. And I was like, Sarah's funny, but like Luke is really, really doing it for me.
Oh my goodness! Don't tell Sarah you said that.
She knows. No, I don't know. I think I am a big Eddie Izzard fan. I think just anything that's British is going to be funnier to me.
Yeah. Okay.
I love Amber Minogue.
Yes. She's
just
wonderful.
I think it's the dryness. I think it's the dryness that really speaks to me.
The dry humour, the sort of understatement or something. I'm a huge Eddie Izzard fan too. And that's kind of like the surreal side of things as well. Yes. Oh, great.
So you won me over, and then I think someone said, do you want to meet Luke after the show? And I was like, what? I can talk to him? So he's getting embarrassed now, listeners. He's turning red under his mask.
I'm blushing now under my mask. Well, that's nice. Nice to know. Yeah, well, thanks for laughing during the stand-up shows. That's always good.
Yes, yeah, well.
Yeah.
That's why I come.
So what about quizzing then, right? You want to know about my relationship with quizzes, don't you?
Yes,
please. So as a Brit, as you said, I definitely know what the concept of a pub quiz is. That it's almost like an institution in British life. And so, of course, I've been to lots of pub quizzes and have taken part quite seriously sometimes. Because when I take part in a pub quiz, I want to win,
Right.
Of course.
Very important.
Obviously, the beer is part of the enjoyment and the socialising and all the rest of it. But normally when I'm with my team at the table, I try to instill a sense of what's the word for it? A sense of motivation and team spirit that we're going to win this quiz. And I like to focus on the questions and really try and win the quiz. And I don't have a bad record. The last quiz that I participated in with my wife, we won that. We won a bottle of champagne.
Wow.
It was actually Prosecco, but that's fine. It still counts.
Where was this?
This was in an English pub. It's the Saint George.
Okay.
St. George, the Cross of St. George.
At the St. George Place in Paris?
Yeah, on Rue Saint George. Exactly. So they do pub quizzes there.
What night?
I'm just telling you a story about how I went to someone else's pub quiz.
I know, you're just breaking my heart all over again.
Oh dear. If it makes any difference, the pub is virtually next door to where I used to live. So that I'm not giving away my address there, listeners, because it's where I used to live. So I used to live very close to that pub. So it was almost like next door. So that I don't know if that makes any...
No.
No?
It's worse.
What else? As an English teacher as well.
Wait, so I want to get back to your pub quiz persona, right? So would you say that you're a team captain type? Like, are you the one that has the pencil and paper?
I will often be the one who has the pencil and paper, yes.
Okay.
I think maybe I am the sort of take control, right, we're going to win this quiz type
and
of
you're
person.
shushing people, and you're the one that's going up and, like, disputing, maybe.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. I'm mainly trying to just, a lot of eye contact with my team members, just, sort of making sure that
everyone's being heard.
Yeah. Making sure we're taking advantage of all the brains around the table,
Good.
focusing on people's strengths.
Okay, good. And
things like that.
will you curate a pub quiz team? Like, will you say, okay, we're pretty okay, there's 2 or 3 of us. We're pretty decent on TV and music, but we really need someone with sports, and you'll go find a sports person, or is it not? Is it much less formal?
No, it's not quite as formal and organised as that. It's more kind of like, okay, we have found ourselves at a pub quiz. Let's just do the best we can with what we've got.
So even the participation is rarely intentional.
Sometimes, yes.
Okay.
Sometimes it will be, there's a pub quiz, right?
And then you all transform into
team pub quiz, yes.
Yeah.
And also, so it's a British thing. It's a family thing as well. My family, we like to do quizzes with each other. So when we get together, we will actually, these days, we actually will write sets of questions, which we then at various times will ask each other. So,
wow.
My dad writes his questions, my mum writes her questions, my brother, me, my wife, we all write our questions, and then at various times we just ask each other the questions.
So at holidays or family get-togethers?
Holidays, family get-togethers, we have the Thompson family quizzes. And they often involve lots of frustration. People get upset because they don't know the answers. And there's competition, especially between my parents.
I see.
Who's the most intelligent, and all that sort of thing. My strengths are pop culture, music, movies.
All right.
Yes.
Maybe some of this will come in handy.
I hope so. As an English teacher as well, to adults, quizzes are a thing that you do as an English teacher. And for example, at the end of an English course in London, when I used to work in London at the school I worked in, we would have a big school pub quiz at the end of the course. And a lot of the time...
At the pub?
Yeah, we'd take them all down to the pub. There would be about sort of 40 students in teams. The teachers would have got together and agreed all the questions in different categories, and we'd do it. And the students wouldn't really understand what was going on, what the purpose of it was. It's like, is this teacher? Is this included in my assessment? Like, no, it's just for fun. Do you understand fun? You know what fun? Just a fun quiz. And we'd ask them questions about British culture. The standard things about the Queen and about the line of succession to the throne. And a classic question being, how many countries are there in the UK, and can you name them? And you'd be surprised. Can you answer that question?
I hope so.
Go ahead.
Well, it would be 4.
Yes.
It would be England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland.
Yes, bingo.
Great Britain would be not including Northern Ireland. So effectively, and correct me if I'm wrong, Northern Ireland can't participate in the Olympics because it's Team Great Britain.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, yeah. See, the thing is that you've heard my stand-up routine, haven't you? Because that's one of the things I detail in my stand-up. Anyway, but
do you mention the Olympics?
I've got stuff about the Olympics, but not the thing about Northern Ireland. The thing is about Great Britain so the United Kingdom, as you said, is those 4 countries, but Great Britain, I don't think is actually the name of a country.
Oh, it's the island.
It's the geographical name of the biggest island of the islands.
Be that as it may, it is Team GB.
Correct. So GB, or Great Britain, or Britain, is sort of used as a word that means the United Kingdom. It's a bit sort of complicated and a bit vague in some ways. So when people say Britain or Great Britain or Team GB, they actually mean Team UK.
I need to look into Northern Irish Olympians. I didn't do my homework, but this is something I've always wondered about.
Good
because
point.
Technically,
yeah, I know. I'm sure that there are Olympians, medal winners who come from Northern Ireland. I can't name any off the top of my head, which is a pity. But I'm sure that there are, because if they were exempt from the Olympics, that would be shocking, wouldn't it?
It would be. This is why I'm wondering. I always see wondering why aren't more people taking to the streets?
We know that there have been troubles in that region.
The troubles.
But the troubles. I don't think it was because of the Olympics, but maybe that was like just the straw that broke the camel's back, you know, that they're like, we're already really angry about the whole cultural and political and religious makeup of this part of the world. The English, the Irish, reunite Ireland. No, it's part of Britain. What is Britain? But anyway, the main thing, like, guys, you know, you can't take part in the Olympics. Yeah, we're on dodgy ground here. Let's stop talking about the troubles and move on. Anyway, I love quizzes, and you do too. How did you get into doing quizzing, and what's the appeal of being the quiz mistress?
I really like being right.
Yes.
It's my greatest strength and my biggest flaw.
Okay. So wait, as a participant in quizzes, so did you participate in lots of quizzes before you decided, right, I've had enough of this, I want to have the answers now?
So it wasn't really a conscious decision. So yeah, I really love quizzing. I love participating in quizzes. And I have forever, really. Whenever there was like something in school like that, or, you know, I think just like books of trivia, fun facts, like I would watch endless like Ripley's Believe It or Not, like all this like kind of stuff. I think all the books that I had were like like 100 badass women from history who did something weird.
And each one is like just a couple of sentences.
Yeah, exactly.
About what that woman did, or what that, just a couple of sentences, rather than reading in depth.
Exactly.
It's more like, just give me lots of small facts about many things.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I always say that I can speak on any subject for 5 minutes.
Right.
Which is, I mean, it comes in handy because, you know, you meet anyone at a party or wherever, when we used to have parties.
Yeah.
And you know, whatever like job they do or whatever they're into, I can like be engaged with them for 5 minutes, and then I have to like go get another drink.
Move on to someone else.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you know, find out what they do and then give them factoids about that.
A little bit, yeah. But I dress it up. You know.
Yeah.
But
what did you study though? Because you went to university?
I did. I studied French.
Yeah.
And communications, which means not a whole lot. Mm-hmm. Communication. It's a bit of an empty. You know, you can kind of project what you want onto it. So I projected media studies, which is also a bit void of meaning.
It's kind of what I did.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. But didn't you go into some depth though in that? Didn't you do stuff about culture and cultural studies and film studies and things like that? Maybe.
I'm mostly focused on journalism.
Yeah.
Which is great because I work with newsrooms now.
Because it's the thing of like trivia, meaning like knowing lots of. Well, they call it trivia because it's apparently trivial. Like not very important things. Right. But knowing many not very important things. So rather than learning about one thing in a lot of depth, you've learnt about many things. In a sort of a shallow way. That doesn't sound very nice. That's not.
No, but it's true. And it's like, I think that I know that my knowledge is a mile wide and an inch deep. Or a kilometer wide and a centimeter deep, whichever you prefer, metric or imperial.
Yes.
And I think that's fine.
Yeah.
And the reason that I enjoy trivia is because I get a lot of satisfaction from that recall.
Yeah.
And from, you know, and trivia isn't just facts, you know, like some of
those things aren't true.
Well, also, but the joy of trivia isn't just saying, you know, I don't have a good example, but
of like naming a Northern Irish Olympian, for example, off the top of your head.
Exactly, but
there's more.
It's too late. No, it's finding something that is rare. So, for example, okay, I had I didn't even write this question, but I surfaced it. and it was a zinger about it was a geography question that I asked last week at the pub quiz, and the question was, which Eastern European country shares 0 of the same borders with the countries that it bordered in 1989?
Wow.
Although its physical borders have not moved.
Wait, so, okay, can you repeat that question?
Yes. So there's a country in Eastern Europe.
Okay.
And from 1989,
yes,
compared to 2022,
yes,
0 of the same bordering nations.
Wow.
But its physical borders,
yes,
the same.
Okay. So it's a country that borders. Yeah.
But do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like that's trivia. The fact that
it's a very specific question, but the point is that sometimes trivia
you have to find the nugget in a set of facts.
Yes.
Because borders changing between, for the past 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fact. It's not trivia.
But it's very interesting because it basically is a little door into a much, much wider subject, which is about the geopolitical changes that happened as a result of the fall of the Iron Curtain, and how so many different countries sort of changed their names and those sorts of things, and how there were various political changes that happened, and that one question is being so specific. It's asking for only one. It's a very closed question in a sense.
The trivia, it has to be pretty tight. Or else you get skewered at the bar.
Right.
Yeah.
There has to be a very clear, straight, single answer.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's a nightmare where people start disputing. Yeah. So the point being that trivia is a very specific question with a very specific answer that sort of makes people think about a much, much wider and more complex thing.
You have to bring in knowledge from different areas. And you kind of have to talk it out. So, for me, not every question is going to do that sort of, be that magic sauce. But for me, what I aim to do is, basically, it's a bad question if everyone knows the answer, and it's a bad question if nobody knows the answer. Yeah. So I need to hit that sweet spot in the middle and figuring out exactly how much information to give, how to frame it. That's sort of what I like about hosting and what I like about solving as well.
We're going to answer that question in a second.
Oh, yeah, we
quickly.
can.
But what happens in the room when you ask a really good question that only some people know? What do you notice occurring in the room when
it gets really quiet?
Really?
Yeah.
It's because they're thinking.
Yeah.
But do they not start discussing, and do they start whispering and stuff?
They start, whispering. So I can always tell when to move on to the next question when the noise level goes up a little bit.
Because then they're just entering social chit-chat at that point. Mm-hmm. And so they're not actually focused. Yeah. Okay, interesting. Interesting stuff.
And so to answer your question, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, should we give the folks the answer? I want you to want you to know.
It would take me ages of just blathering on. And trying to work it out.
It's hard without a team.
And maybe not getting the answer. So I'm just going to say I don't know.
So it's Poland.
It's Poland. Okay, we could start to explore the reasons why and tell the story, but do we have time for that?
No, because that would be not trivia.
Okay. Well, listeners, you could look it up. And Polish people, I've got Polish listeners to my podcast. They'll all be, I don't know what, happy that we're talking about them, but maybe upset that we are not going into more detail. And some of them are going, Luke, what, you didn't know? Anyway, okay. Now, what do we do next on the Paris Quiz Mistress podcast? What happens next?
Well, I think we should do some trivia, no?
Yeah, let's start quizzing.
Okay. May I do the honors?
You mean
kick us off?
Yes.
As the quiz mistress.
Yeah. So you're gonna ask me your questions, and then I will ask you my questions. What was the remit here? How did you choose your questions? How did you come up with your questions? What's the focus? Is it just what you know about me, Or
Well, I think you're just going to have to see.
what? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
Good. Here goes your very own personal pub trivia quiz, not in a pub.
How many questions, sorry?
A few. A couple.
Some.
We'll see.
An undefined number.
We'll see how we go.
Okay, I'm ready.
For which film did the MPAA... So do you know what the MPAA is?
The MPAA, is that like the BFB... is that like the Film Board of... In England, it's the British Board of Film Classification, so they decide the age ratings for films.
Exactly. So it's the Motion Picture Association of America.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Which is a bad organization.
What?
You should watch the movie. This film is not yet rated. It's only like 15 years old. I think it was like the first Netflix original, to be honest.
15 years old, that's fine. You talk about 15 years old as if it's a bad thing. That's fine.
It isn't. No, I'm just saying because I think it was produced by Netflix, but really back in the day, and it kind of like is the whole like Netflix raison d'être now is that they don't have to pass through these kind of
loopholes.
The gatekeepers, because they're gay. Anyways,
right.
This is too deep for this question.
Give me the question.
Okay. For which film did the MPAA refuse to allow use of Ben Stiller's character's last name in the title unless filmmakers could find an actual person with that last name?
I'm sorry, but you will have to repeat. I think I know the answer, but for the benefit of some of my listeners, you may have to repeat that question, please. Thank you.
It's a film with the actor Ben Stiller.
Mm-hmm.
And this ratings board said you cannot call this film what you want to call this film unless you find a real person with this name.
So it's a film with Ben Stiller, and in this film, Ben Stiller has an unusual surname. And they wanted to put the surname in the title of the film, and the Film Board Classification Board Association.
Yes.
Who I don't know if they are bored, maybe boring, but they.
If you're bored, then you're boring.
I suppose so. Yes, only boring people get bored. There you go, listeners. So if you ever complain about the length of one of my episodes again, think twice.
Do you get many complaints?
Not really.
Okay.
No.
They're not there anymore.
Yeah, they're skeletons. So it's got to be one of the Meet the Parents sequels. Is it Meet the Fockers?
It is. Congratulations.
Yeah,
first one.
Yes, got one right. Yes, this is good. I'm better at this than penalties. Than England are at penalties. English people generally are better at quizzes than penalties, but we're better at most things than we are at penalties. Never mind.
Is this a football?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Never mind. Okay.
Next question.
I'm glad I got that right.
I'm glad you did too. This is starting off strong. Next question. What second novel by English author Charles Dickens is alternately titled The Parish Boy's Progress?
The Parish Boy's Progress or
Yes.
Progress.
Sorry. Yes.
That's all right. In British English. So basically, Charles Dickens' second novel, The Parish Boy's Progress. Oh dear, listeners, I'm ashamed to say that I don't know which one is the second of his novels, but The Parish Boy's Progress. I'm gonna speculate that this is the story about the progress of a boy. So I'm going to say Great Expectations.
That is wrong. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. How terrible. I got it wrong. Everyone thinks I'm a stupid idiot.
I'm sure that's
normal. They already thought that.
Would you like to try again? Progress of a boy.
Progress of a boy. Is that like a paraphrase of the title? Like the sort
No.
of... No, I don't want to try again.
Okay.
I want to cash in my chips.
That's all right. The correct answer is Oliver Twist.
Oliver Twist, of course, The Progress of a Boy. Of course. Well, I thought of... In my defense, I thought of Great Expectations because it is about he goes from a boy to a man, and everyone's like, oh, what's going to happen? Everyone's expecting him to do great things, hence the title. And, oh, how's his progress getting along? Has he done great things yet?
See, that's way more than I could have told you about that book. And more than I probably could have told you about Oliver Twist. So trivia is just...
Yeah,
it's really just that.
The surface, skimming the surface.
Exactly. I could tell you Oliver Twist. Food, glorious food.
Yeah.
Please, I want some more.
Yes.
And that's it. I don't know anything else about it. Except the alternate title is Parish Boy's Progress.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah. And it was his second novel.
There you go.
Okay. All right. Well, damn.
Just so everyone feels okay about their level of knowledge of stuff.
Yes. 50% hit rate, listeners. I've got to improve. Desperately need a correct answer now.
Yes. So next question we have... What film series began in 1988 and stars Bruce Willis as John McClane?
Oh, this is a little gift that you've given to me. It's Die Hard, of course. Die Hard. Yeah, that's the answer,
there
right?
You go. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing the first Die Hard in a motel in the States, in the United States, with my brother. We were on holiday. It was 1989.
Wow.
We were on holiday with my parents. It was just a fantastic holiday where we traveled around the States. We were in a motel at Disneyland in Los Angeles. And my brother and I were watching TV because, obviously TV with so many channels in an American motel room. And we ended up watching Die Hard. And it was just the most amazing thing because it was not edited. Because when those sorts of American action movies are shown on British TV, they get edited. The very violent bits are cut, and the swearing is cut as well, hilariously. So instead of saying "Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker," he goes "Yippee-ki-yay, Kimosabi," and instead of saying "fuck you," they go "freak you," and that sort of thing. I don't know if you can include those rude language words.
Rude language words.
But I remember us watching it, and there's a bit where he shoots a guy in the knees, and you see his jeans get all tattered, and there's blood. And my brother and I were like, "Wow, never seen a guy get shot in the knees before. America is amazing."
And then you met Mickey Mouse.
And then next day it was Mickey Mouse and stuff. But in the backs of our minds, we were thinking, God, that bit where he shot him in the knees was good, wasn't it?
That's the best part of your holiday.
There's Daffy Duck or Donald Duck, one of the ducks.
One of the ducks. One of them. Yes, correct. Die Hard.
Yes, Die Hard. The first one is an excellent film. The others, It's always the way.
Get this. This is culture that I have no personal relationship with.
You're not invested in that at all, are you? That series?
No, I'm not, unfortunately. But I have asked many a trivia question about it. Mm-hmm. Mm. Makes for good Christmas trivia because apparently people think it's a Christmas movie.
The second one is it is a Christmas film. Hey, why don't you come over?
Shot in the knees.
Yeah, it's like guys. Yeah, I'm sure there's a Santa in there somewhere. Anyway.
Next question.
Mm-hmm.
In British English, it means eraser.
Yeah.
In American, it means condom.
Yep.
What is it?
It's a rubber.
That's correct.
That's right. So if you are ever in the United States and you, either would like to have sex without fear of contracting some sort of disease or getting pregnant, then ask for a rubber. Whereas if you're in the UK and you'd like to do that, ask for a condom. Or alternatively, if you've drawn something with a pencil and you'd like to remove it, ask for a condom. No.
Where?
Ask
what?
Always wear a condom.
Where? Yes.
Always, regardless of what you're doing.
Wrap it before you tap it.
Exactly. If you're illustrating something with a pencil, or you are,
it's just safer.
Generally safer.
Generally safer. Yeah. I'm wearing one right now.
So am I.
Amazing. It's really.
I learnt my lesson.
The best practice. Next question.
Yes, I'm ready for the next question.
What is the type of gun that features as a weapon in Cluedo?
In Cluedo.
In Cluedo.
For some reason, I thought you were going to ask me what's Dirty Harry's gun. I was hoping you would ask me that. But anyway.
I know that you're a fan of guns because you're a fan of shooting people
shooting
in
people's knees. Yeah. Bullets mainly in the knees. So that's what am I talking about? I'm really not a fan of people getting shot in the knees. Anyway, it's only in that film, which is great. Really great standout moment. Anyway, the weapon. Which weapon is it in Cluedo? Cluedo, the board game where you have to work out who got murdered and how and where.
Yep.
Lead pipe. What kind of gun is it? It's a gun, is it? There's a firearm.
There's one. Yeah, there's one gun. I want to know what type.
So it's either going to be a revolver or a shotgun or a rifle. Oh, damn. Why can't I remember? Or is it a blunderbuss? Those ones that farmers in England used to have where it looks a bit like a shotgun, but at the end it kind of goes out like a trumpet.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah, you can put anything in it. So it
You could just shoot anything.
Yeah, literally you just put whatever you've got in there. Like some old bits of metal or whatever, just some bits of stone, and stick it in the blunderbuss and bam! Get off my land! Blam!
So you sound way too good at that.
Yeah.
You've done it before.
No. Certainly never shot anyone in the knees with a blunderbuss. Never, I promise.
Never. All right, I'm going to need a commitment here.
Okay. It's a double-barrel shotgun.
That's incorrect.
Oh, damn. I really thought it was going to be I thought it would be, because, in an old English mansion, there's always a double-barrel shotgun lying around somewhere.
But it's kind of hard to hide as a murder weapon. Good
point. Well, that's why they always get caught in the game.
I suppose.
Unless you give up, what's the percentage of games of Cluedo that have never reached a conclusion? It's probably quite high.
I don't really remember how to play.
Yeah, well, never mind.
I love the movie. The film is starring Tim Curry.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Okay. When we go home tonight, I will watch Die Hard and you will watch Clue.
Okay. Yeah.
Deal.
Tim Curry with Tom Morton himself. Tom Morton? You don't know Tom Morton? Never mind. It's a tangent that he's someone that we used to know from stand-up in Paris. I don't know what he's doing these days. Actor, British guy. Looks a bit like Dave Grohl / Tim Curry. Either of the two. Pick one.
That's quite a combo.
Directly halfway between both. But English. What's the weapon then?
So it is a revolver.
A revolver. Of course.
You thought of it and then you went a different direction.
A revolver which could be slipped into a pocket, which is what happens in almost every Sherlock Holmes short story. There's always a point where, Watson, we must leave immediately. And then he opens a drawer and slips a revolver into his pocket. It's always that word. It's always
very discreet weapon.
Slips a revolver into his pocket before they leave to confront the criminal. Okay. So I'm getting. I'm not very.
You're doing great.
I'm doing okay.
You're doing great. Next question. Scar Tissue is the name of Anthony Kiedis's autobiography, as well as one of his hits. With which band?
There's a nice question. It's the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
That is the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Very well done.
Yes. Okay. Great. Do we need to go on a tangent about the Red Hot Chili Peppers?
We don't. Tangents aren't required.
Okay.
No.
We'll let the listeners pause the podcast and have their own Red Hot Chili Pepper / Anthony Kiedis singing about having sex in California, which is generally what he does.
Yeah.
That's like his favorite subject, isn't it?
This is what I have gathered.
Having sex in California is a big deal for Anthony. Anyway, right. Moving on.
Next question.
Yeah.
P.D. James, Edgar Allan Poe, and Gaston Leroux are all writers specializing in what genre?
It's the mystery detective story.
Correct.
All right. Yeah. Yes.
Are you a fan of mystery novels?
I do. I love mystery novels.
You mentioned Sherlock Holmes.
I'm a huge Sherlock Holmes fan. And Yeah, just generally love that genre. I need to read all of them, but I just don't. Just read the Sherlock Holmes stories and then read them again. That's my style instead.
Whatever works.
So I should move on to another detective, but there's plenty of time left for that.
Yes, indeed. Next question, we have the flags of Romania, Colombia, and Moldova all primarily feature which 3 colors?
Okay. Yellow is one of them.
Correct.
Red is another one. Now, I would...
Correct.
Shall I go green or blue? Now, if I go green, that's more of an African nation, isn't it? It's like one of the African nations. A lot of yellow, red, and green. But
True.
I think I'm going to go blue. I think it's blue. I think it's yellow, red, and blue.
Yes, we got it.
Yes.
Very good. Did you catch my hint?
No.
I said they primarily feature.
Primarily, primary colours.
Prime colors.
That's prime numbers and primary colours. Primary colours, yellow, red. Are those the yellow, red, and blue? But what about red, blue, and green though?
I know it's controversial.
Yeah.
These days, I all color theory is
Controversial.
Controversial.
Like
yes.
that dress on the internet that time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was optical. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Optical illusion.
Very interesting. Well, what
Yes.
color was it?
Oh, I don't care. I can't remember.
It was definitely gold and white.
I really honestly can't remember.
I've asked about this on a quiz a lot.
Have you really?
Yeah.
Listeners, if you don't know what we're talking about, whenever I do this, I'm talking to my listeners who
I have understood.
They need
I'm a fan. I know your format.
Okay. They sometimes need a little explanation. There was a picture that went around the internet maybe 5 years ago, longer than that. And it was of a dress. And it was basically, what colour is the dress? And some people thought it was pink and gold. No?
No.
Go on.
It was blue and black, it was not.
Yeah.
Or white and gold.
Okay. And so basically...
half the people thought it was one and half the people thought it was the other. And it became a whole... a whole cultural phenomenon.
Everyone started abusing each other online. Like, don't be ridiculous, you wanker. It's obviously blue and green or whatever it was. I don't.
But anyways, what is undisputed is the colors of the flags of Moldova and Colombia and Romania.
Yeah.
That is undisputed.
I wonder why they went for those colours. Do you think that they had the same meeting? Do you know what I mean?
Maybe.
They just went through the same decision-making process. I don't know. Anyway, interesting. Flags. Fascinating.
Flag trivia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm doing all right, I think. I think I'm on a pass rather than a fail. I think I'm above the 60% mark, but I'm not sure.
Well, it's all for fun.
Okay. See,
I know you just want to win.
I'm hungry for glory.
Mm-hmm. All right, next question. We have the first episode of what television drama opens with the news that the RMS Titanic has sunk.
Oh. Okay. First scene of a television drama. We've just had news, sir. What is it? That big boat. It's what? The unsinkable one. Yes, that's it. They called it the Titanic. Well, guess what? It just arrived at its destination safely. Not exactly, sir. Well, come on, out with it, man. What is it? Well, it's sunk. Dun dun dun. Opening titles. Is it Downton Abbey?
Correct. That wasn't quite... I appreciated that reenactment. I believe it arrived on the newspaper, and then the newspaper was ironed by the servants and then delivered.
So a big visual clue to the audience there. Look at the headline of this newspaper, which is just being used in this scene. Look, you see what year it is. Okay, so that's the context, historical context. Now,
I liked your scene better.
Really?
Yes.
Well, if anyone out there is listening, what's his name? Fellows. Julian Fellows. Not Julian, the producer Julian, but Julian Fellows, the
other
guy,
producer.
The other producer, the producer and writer of Downton Abbey. Julian, if you would like a holiday and you need someone to write the next Downton Abbey series or film, I'm available. I'm just saying. If you like snappy historical dialogue, like what you heard there, then I'm your man. Okay.
Heard it here first, folks. All right, I have another question for you.
Okay.
And the question is, what do the previous 9 answers have in common?
Oh, God. This is where I should have been paying attention.
We can go over them.
Okay, quickly go over them.
So we had Meet the Fockers.
Yeah.
We had Oliver Twist.
Yeah.
We had Die Hard.
Okay, Meet the Fockers.
We had Rubber.
Okay.
We had the Revolver from Clue.
Fockers, Rubber, Hard.
We had the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Okay.
We also had mystery novels, mystery genre.
Yeah.
Red, Yellow, and Blue.
Red, yellow, and blue.
And we had Downton Abbey.
Is it just like stuff that I've liked on Facebook?
No.
Then I've got no idea what the connection is. I'm sorry.
So
I'm not very clever, you see, but stupid.
No, I wouldn't say that. It is an interest of yours that I have woven into these cleverly disguised clues. And there is a key word in each answer.
Meet the Fockers, Oliver Twist. Meet the Beatles, Twist and Shout, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Red Hot. It's Beatles stuff, right, listeners? I've worked that out. It's something to do with the Beatles.
Something.
Now I'm trying to work out what the connection is. Meet the Beatles was the first album release by the Beatles in the United States. It was called Meet the Beatles, and Oliver Twist, Twist and Shout was one of their songs. What were the other things?
Die Hard.
Die Hard. Die Hard. Hard. Die Hard. Die Hard. Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr are still alive. Especially Ringo, like.
Especially Ringo's especially still alive.
I don't know what the connection is there with Die Hard.
So, I'll give it to you. The 9 answers are all the words from Beatles albums, and I did them in order of release.
Okay. Oh, Hard Day's Night.
Exactly.
So
they're all album titles that I picked a keyword from each album title.
Right, I see. Okay. Well, and the next one?
Rubber.
Rubber Soul.
Yep. Revolver, just
the name of the album. Revolver.
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
Correct. Mystery.
Magical Mystery Tour.
We had Red, Yellow, Blue.
Red, Yellow, Blue. Oh, the Red Album and the Blue Album. Because there are compilation albums called the Red Album and the Blue Album. Red, Yellow, and Blue.
Well, that was the answer. One of the keywords is in there. Remember, that was the answer of the flags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know how it connects to the Beatles.
Well, I suppose you're not a fan of Yellow Submarine.
Oh, Yellow Submarine. Okay, right.
What could it possibly be?
And Red Submarine and Blue Submarine. Don't forget those ones too.
All them.
And the White Album.
Right.
Which is just called The Beatles. So I suppose one of the quick clues has got the word "the" in it.
No, I didn't include that one because it was, it was just technicality, right?
Yeah. And Let It Be. I don't know. And Abbey Road.
Just Abbey Road, yeah.
Abbey Road. Downton Abbey. Yeah.
There you go, yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
That was really good fun. Now, it's my turn, isn't it?
I suppose. And stay tuned for the exciting conclusion in part 2. That is all for this episode. If you want more trivia from me, you can follow Paris Quiz Mistress on Instagram or Facebook. You can also sign up for my newsletter. You can come play along with one of my live quizzes, either virtually or at the pub, whichever the current moment calls for. And until next time, stay nerdy and keep quizzing.